eduka yobomo ya Uhuru Superstores Limited nero eduka cholide ili kubatuka chirangi cha Crown Paints eyuere company nambe yemo eyo karose chirangi mense liga ya Kenya. Crown Paints nigo emanyira soko raisia ebintu biriya bikomanya seka ngo kwanira chirangi ejo boyiko chire chichi brand ao ejo chire chingi ya kirage chirangi chiga nigo chire chibirengo ao punabono mbabwate chirangi cyo gwakwa imeye nyumba iziko ye nyumba chire chikomentera nibwa amavuta yani oil na buigo chiriya chia mache inyuranga chirangi chiga nigo chire kurwase chire chiri guririke iriya gatigati bwekariguri iriya bantabati buigo imeya Uhuru Superstores nero eduka yuka iyo bwate emixer iyo bwochoganya chirangi wikabunuraganye bwochoganire erangiriga aseduke yiga ya Uhuru Superstores nabo kwegena muna ekale aho watagete nigo kwayanyora bwikirano tutarire rero eriwe nyorere abamanyi nabo igo enekenga enyumba yao use asomanyete use chire chibiasara nchibwa tokorelekana okuya na ayonsi nigo araikirane ekero utumikite chirangi cha Crown Paints eduke yiga ya Uhuru Superstores yego toka se enyumba ya Uhuru Complex imeyumuchuri go musongo eyuerange neduka ya Safaricom mwigo ngotuka bari ase nyumba ya JM Towers eyuere angene bengi ya Credit Bank asamange bakere simugwetera ase chinamba chabo 0111161500 Uhuru Superstores, the people's choice, guaranteed lowest prices. Karibu nyumbani.
Mugasomyo mwancho muregereo Getembe TV na gosogeire andonsi asoto sonjita korwa ritukonera Jumatatu chitariki 10 mutenyino yo kabere omwaka no yubwechiri bubere 25 ejeneri tuko ense ya Kenya na boyige ensengima egoti yamorekera oboroire borwa epilepsy gose oboroire bwa endurume Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere senchira yo bwenge nchenkatere Nyaboga abigari nyancha manero koneke chibichana marengo karakira senchira yo bwekiranu na boyiga Wilson Makori nere tokobwatrana nere kora sense media imanyiro karibu sana. Mwanche muri Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere togo chaka kurase county ya Nyamira abo asomo waziri otenenete chinguru cyo morero imense ya Kenya omoske opio wandayi atara county ya Nyamira asomo roberyo bwa magendero anene mono kobeka chistima gocha ase ebinyoro kokwana kera ainekya okobekwa westima ase tundubari atitimbo egotoka iwadi ya Kenya ekerenyo ebunge ya North Mogirango omoske undayi ni gateba eserekari ni gebegete chimilioni chimi Isano nemo anene mono chogo chikobeka estima ase county yo ya Nyamira.
Sisi kama serikali tumeamua ya kwamba kwa wakati huu ile jukumu ambazo tuko nazo ni kufanyia nyinyi kazi. Na hasa sisi kama wizara ya kawi tuko na mipango kamili ya kusambaza stima katika kila pembe ya nchi. Na Mheshimiwa Rais ametoa agizo ya kwamba sisi wakati tunafanya mambo ya maendeleo ya kusambaza stima tufanye bila mapendeleo au ubaguzi wote. Na katika hiyo mpangilio ya Mheshimiwa Rais William Ruto, kaunti ya Nyamira hawezi baki nyuma. kazi ya Nyamira, kaunti ya Nyamira iko ndani, sawa sawa. Na kwa hakika katika hii mwaka peke yake serikali inaongozwa na Mheshimiwa Rais Ruto imeweka pesa kwa bajeti, pesa shilingi milioni 620 620 million shillings has been put aside for purposes of electrification in this county alone. Hii county ya Nyamira serikali kuu imeweka pesa taslimu 620 million shillings. Hii project ambayo tumekuja leo kuzindua, hii ya Sengera, ni amana sana. Ni amana sana. Imetugharimu karibu shilingi milioni 7 hivi. Na imeunganisha au itaunganisha wananchi customers karibu 100. Ikiwemo hii buying center. Hapa Nyamira tunatambua ya kwamba nyinyi ni wakulima shupavu. Na ni wakulima wa majani chai, wakulima wa kahawa, wakulima wa ndizi, hata mahindi. Na jukumu letu kama wizara tukiofanya kazi pamoja na Mheshimiwa wa Nyaboga ni first and foremost to prioritize hizi mambo za buying centers. Ndio
Mwanche mweregerera togos kabosio ekero ebyombe ao anene mono kerikia EAC na kerigia Sadik bigendrete korigereria chinchera cyo gukora kisegi kirekire asenseri ya DRC ritwererero nigo murayibwense ya Kenya umuske Daktari William Samoei Ruto atebire ekerengangero gyo koena kiabuna kisegi ekyo ngoera kire na koreta omorembe ase enseyo anene mono nabantu benseyo komenya no morembe umurayibwense nigaya kwana yaiga asege ikaro nabampa sada amona barai ao korwa se Chinsa cha Afrika Asia magacho yobo menya bo muraibwense go se State House omochio Nairobi emavieri tkoriarero
of these processes. So we agreed that these processes should be merged into one. Number two, we also agreed that we should expand the space for facilitators so that instead of having one facilitator, we will have 3 facilitators. And we are in consultation between me and my co-chair on identifying the additional facilitators so that we can provide a more robust mechanism and energize the whole process of mediation in the DRC. And number 3 is to focus on both intra-Congolese dialogue amongst the parties in the DRC and also in the dialogue between DRC and its neighbors, more particularly with Rwanda. That will be the focus of the mediation process and the facilitation process, and the merger of these 2 processes we will be proposing for an endorsement from the summit of the African heads of state. And to avoid the pitfalls of the past, both processes suffered funding challenges. We have agreed that this time round, we want to agree on a funding mechanism that is predictable and that can sustain the whole process to its conclusion. Because the situation in DRC is so dire, is so tragic. In fact, it is an indictment to leadership, not just in our region, but I think globally as well. Ladies and gentlemen, as the East African Chair, I also echo the calls of the Africa Union, SADC, the UN, the G7, European Union, Britain, and the United States, and others, for all the parties in the DRC conflict to prioritize negotiations, dialogue, and commit
Chinga kechechio nigo omurai wense akwanera amaunchururio yerire anene mono orogongo rwa Africa asabo igo akwanera ebitambo kero ensi ya Kenya yabo yabekire kone kyabuna ekerengekyo na enganeyo ngokorwere.
Like-minded nations to push the climate agenda forward. Domestically, Kenya has made remarkable progress in transitioning to a green economy with over 93% of our grid electricity generating from renewable resources such as geothermal, wind and solar. Our national tree planting and restoration campaign, targeting 15 billion trees by 2032, is on course. In 2024, our efforts led to the planting and growing of 750 million trees. As we approach COP30, we call on international partners to honor their climate financing commitments. Kenya will continue leading by example, advocating equitable climate financing and ensuring Africa's voice remains central in global climate discussions. I urge for your support in this endeavor. Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, I commend the diplomatic missions and international organizations in Kenya for their cooperation, goodwill, and support. Your contribution in trade, investment, health, education, technology transfer, infrastructure development.
Mwancho muregerera na kero erego satigaira matuko atano ka obochori buri bw'ekiombe kya AUC bochiko korekana ni igoli tukoria rero abanyina b'ekiombe kiri kemanyikaire na ODM women chapter bare asomo sangerekano wokokora masabo anene mono yokumusabira umusikeraira bosio wobochori obo eikendi eye egocha yani gagocha ritukeri morioka maiga yabagambi bande kurase kyamekyo kya ODM ritukore igoro kokora masabo ase kanisa ya House of Grace Omochi Okakamega. Mwancho muregereria na kereri tuko goseri tukoria ikomi kera omutinyo kabere nense ya Kenya nense ngima egochengera oboroire bwa endurume abubanye obu ose obumanye keine buna epilepsy egati abantu bari bamenyete no boroire obu nigo babeire bagotiwa magega gose kombi bakorenda babote ni nigo besokire na goteba na kubori abantu gosokia abantu abo na kubobwate sia baruani oboroire obu asabatebire abantu abo bari nyagitari nabo igo oboroire obu ngobwene kabore.
Imekuwa watu wa ignorance kwamba tunaficha watoto, tunaficha wale watu ambao wako na kifafa kwa sababu watu wengi wanasema ni mambo ya uchawi, lakini sio hivyo. Kifafa ni ugonjwa kama ya kawaida, na hiyo uhamasisho itaelezea wananchi vile wataweza kaa na mtu ambaye ako na kifafa, pia wampeleke hospitali vile watamhandle.
The challenges we are facing, I can say one is there's a lot of stigma associated with epilepsy. We are trying to demystify the myths associated with it and tell more people to come out and talk about epilepsy and not hide their loved ones.
All of us are potential candidates for epilepsy, and therefore awareness amongst the community is very, very important, because we have lost many lives and those are deaths that were preventable if we only knew what we were supposed to do.
Kifafa iko na kifafa, sisi wote ni candidates wa kifafa, kwamba inaweza shika mtu yoyote. Kifafa si uchawi, na ningeomba tu vijana, wananchi wote tushirikiane pamoja na tuhamasishe wananchi kwamba kifafa ni ugonjwa ya kawaida, na tusiweze kuwaficha watu wetu ambao wameweza kuwa na hiyo ugonjwa ya kifafa. Tuwaweke karibu, ndio tuwasaidie, na ikiwezekana tuwapeleke hospitali.
Mwanche muregerera togo chigokora nigo bona eserikali gwetera ewizara yobochenu egenderete kwenengia na boigo gotuka chituka na amune clinic chiri chikoneria abasubati ebinto byo komento borembo mamenchaneri chika gose aesthetic clinics ayani gagocha magega gose nigo bono omorike botamba se wizara yo omoskemeri muthoni atebire kirenge kenene gyo kunengia na gotuka chituke echo no kone kyabuna gotanga bare abasubati na kubarenda kurakonyora ama arwaire akoretwo na mavuta amo na mario gayo bakuonerwa kuri ase chituke chio maminja nerichiko.
The beauty spas that are there, already we have inspected quite a lot. We know there are 3 that are in the process of registration and others were just operating illegally. We directed that those clinics must be closed immediately, and we shall continue inspecting so that we also do not continue losing people in the name of beauty. If you have opened a massage parlor, please ensure that it is doing that work, massage only. Do not have invasive procedures in the name of beauty. That procedure must be operated in a well-registered, licensed, and with people with the skills to do that procedure. So therefore, let us not confuse. And very soon, we are going to list down, to give the list of all the approved clinics to do invasive procedures in this country. We shall give the list of the clinics that are approved. The tobacco products, and if you look at statistics, generally 8 million people die every year out of tobacco-related illnesses. And in Kenya alone, 2.5 million people use either tobacco products. I'm not even sure whether I'll continue talking about shisha anymore, because shisha is banned. It is not a product we are supposed to be discussing in this country. We are actually supposed to be effecting the ban. And sooner or later, those who are against the law, be sure that the law is going to catch up with you.
Mwanchio murigerera oroboti oruru amere muthoni na urogo chigotoikira omwere we Ekeonga Chinsa Isano na Ibere asenchira yo bwenge korenda yo mana yanda mange ninchiko kayaretera aso bwenge chikoraga Chinsa 10 chiomugaso chomorogo borero nchengatire ni Nyaboga Wilfred Matundra magech kamera Wilson Makone to abwatrana nere croissance meri manyiriro na boy Abigail Nyanchama nere berega kwenekya chibichana marengo kirachira senchira yo bwekran twako kanero borgerero borobya ase imirobirio ya Getembe TV ekobwatia.
Getembe samuguri ya kegema nigo bagatoka asongochi obosongo ensema ya Falcon mbarabare ne petrol station ya Shell gusa orosegeru wabo orunene kegema rore jogo angene skuru yoboroso ya jogo primary bakirasi miase number 0113388513 kusem 0115318887 kusem 0401 86688 Kinya igesariao asokugura obuyo ni chimbusuro chingikiranu kurwa Enokem Aggregate Limited. Getembe Television Ekeonga Kiamamogusi.
This new year, discover something new every day on your StarTimes decoder. Buy an aerial decoder plus 1 month free classic bouquet subscription to enjoy the magic of African stories on ST Swahili, AMC Movies, and ST Nollywood. Tales of adventure that take you far on Bliss TV, ST Kung Fu, Z Cinema, and Nat Geo. Or a dish decoder plus